Hi everybody and welcome to today's video. In today's video we're going to do a creative portrait using this light. And look at what I'm talking to now in front of all of these people. This is not scripted and I'm dying.
Okay, let's crack on. Well done. As the amazing Stuart has just said, we are at Revolution to Cuba in Manchester today for the first ever meetup of my Patreon community. So a big hello from everyone. So a huge thank you again, everyone, firstly for being a member of this community that I think is the best thing that I have created in my career. I'm so proud of what we've got. If you're not aware of the Patreon, I will put a link in the description. It's the home of all my online wedding photography education, and as well as that, it's the community that makes it such, I feel, a valuable resource. And that isn't just down to me, that is down to everybody in this room and who is a member from around the world. So firstly, a huge thank you to everyone who has made the Patreon what it is, including this man here.
So let's crack on.
Very good. So as part of the Patreon day and part of the meetup, I'm going to do a live shoot. I have the amazing James over here, hopefully Demi. Demi is en route. And what I'm trying to do is find a creative portrait in this space. Now this is a really nice, cool room. It's not a very easy room to try and find good potential when it comes to creative lighting. We're going to have to use off-camera flash because natural light-wise in here, yeah, there's no trees. In joke, you have to be here to know what that means. Shall I put a picture on the screen? No, I'm not going to put a picture on the screen of the trees. Yeah, so it's not going to be easy. So as with a lot of off-camera flash photographs, which I do, the first step is to find a bright light source. And we found this chandelier up here. So what I'm going to do is basically try and create a photograph with this being the basis of the shot. And I'm going to build that up in stages. So first of all, the first step is always to try and find the composition. So I'm going to climb up here. Apologies to Reverend Jacuba. Thank you very much to Tony here for filming. So basically I found this chandelier, and what I'm trying to do is not so much use these lights because they're going to be very bright, and if we expose for those, everything else is going to go really, really dark. It's basically going to go black, and I don't really want that. But what I do like is this middle part of the chandelier here, because these little bright objects that you see, the little bright bits of it, that will create some really interesting foreground bokeh. I'll just take a shot of what I'm thinking. So I'm on my Sony 35mm 1.8. For any shot like this where I want to use bokeh, I'm going to shoot wide open. 200 shutter speed, f1.8 at ISO 800. And for everyone who's here, you should see that hopefully coming up on the screen. So this is basically what my composition is going to be. Now we do see a little bit over here of the background. Not that's a bad thing, all our lovely community in the background, but you can see the potential in the bokeh. So that will be the first step in creating this photograph, just to get your base layer right of the natural light. And I've not added a light source yet. So I'm going to do that now. First of all, let's just grab a speed light. I'm going to use a Godox V860. These light stands are Manfrotto mini stands, and I've got the Magsphere on here, so we'll pop that here. So what I don't have with me today, but I would like to use, is the mag box, because that's going to give the nicest light in this situation, but I have to go with what we've got. So I'm just going to use Godox V860 here, and at first, initially I'm not going to have any modifier on there, so this is going to look bad. So this is Speedlight A. This here, I'm using the Godox X2T trigger. First mentioned to me by Martin. Shout out to Martin. There he is, yes, he's still there. And I love this trigger because it allows me to easily turn speedlights on and off, which is really good. Especially with a lot of the setups that I use on a wedding day, I do like to turn speedlights on and off quickly. Plus, I can also have a speedlight or GoPro on the trigger as well, so that's cool. So let's just turn this on. So because of my composition, I'll show the photograph on the screen, but for everybody here, James is going to be in this gap here. I want him to look this way. I always want like my subjects, James, to look into the frame, so I don't want him facing that direction. So let's ask James to stand here if that's okay, my good man. And I'm just going to light you from here. Now, as I keep on saying, this is going to look bad purely because there is no modifier on this speed light. I'm also guessing because the ambient in this room is very, very low, we don't need this speed light to work very hard either. So the brighter the ambient, the more natural light we have, the higher the flash power would be. But in here it's very, very dark. So that means that the speed light's going to go very, very low power. I'm almost thinking like we might end up needing to use an ND filter as well on the speed light. Because as well, James is not far away from the light. I'd like him to be a bit further away. So I might put the speed light here, just because I think otherwise there's a good chance it's going to be in the shot. The other advantage of having a speed light a bit further away is because of inverse square law, 128 power will probably now maybe not be enough, but that's good. I prefer it to be that situation than struggling. 3, 2, 1. So there's enough potential in this for me to think, actually, yeah, we can get something. So if we look at the photograph as it is, the white balance is all over the place. That's because I turned it down because of the light in here. So first thing I'm going to do is turn up my white balance. We're now at 6,500 Kelvin. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, look, it's looking pretty decent now. So that shows me enough potential. So what I'm going to do now is try and limit the spread of the light. Not that it's a huge problem, because we don't have there's not a lot of things around James here for the light to fall onto, but I'm going to add on the grid. What the MagMod grid does is it stops the spill. So rather than the light coming out like that, it's going to come out a lot more like a beam. I'm not going to change anything else at this stage, and I know that it's not going to, what's going to happen is the flash power is going to appear much lower, so which isn't what I want, but we can correct that. So I'm now trying to put James's head a bit more top left. So that's getting there now. Usually what I would do at this stage, and I will do for best practice, is add on the Magsphere. Now what this does is it basically diffuses, it softens the light, and for portraits that's a good thing. Usually we don't want harsh light for portraits. Great thing about MagMod, obviously everything's magnetic, so bang, that's on. I've not changed anything else yet. We're still on the same flash power. I thought I'd have to increase the flash power, but I think I can get away with it. So let's see what this gives us. And the tricky thing is coming up here, it looks different every time. So just building on, I'm happy with what we've got so far, but we can make it better by just filling in the blank areas. If I show you this photograph on the screen now, you'll see just areas of that shot which is just not filled in with bokeh. So to do that, I've got a few bits and bobs in my bag. I've been kindly lent by my friend Helen this prism. This should give me a better result. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, cool. What I'm trying to do is put James right up in the top left. I'm going to take a few here. So, good James. James working like a boss. I think we've got one. What do we think, gang?
Yeah, there's one in there.
The technical term for this is take a load and hope the one works. Okay? So hopefully we've already got it, but just because we may as well, I'm going to use one more crystal just to see what this one gives me. Again, I don't always know what effect I'm going to get. It's just very much hit and miss. So within all that, I'm hopefully going to have one that I think I can use. But as I always say, when you're in this situation, you may as well just change your lens. And it takes another 2 seconds to do that, but can give you something that maybe you might not like as much, because to me it felt like a 35mm shot, but it could be better. So we might as well give it a go. Whoa. Ah, this is it, this is the one here. There, looking good, James. Okay, I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, so what I'll do now is I'll show you on the screen my favourite photographs from this video. A huge thank you to James for modelling, to Toni and Aaron for filming this, and to everybody who's been watching, a huge thank you. I will show you now some of the behind the scenes of what we've got up to today, but it's been such a good day. We've done limbo, scissors, paper, rock. I've done a couple of talks, and I've loved meeting everyone, which is so nice. So yeah, a huge thank you to everyone who has joined me today, and thank you very much for watching. But the main thing I want to do is thank you all for creating this amazing community that I honestly think is the thing I'm most proud of since I've started my career, genuinely. It's just been amazing how the group has formed and become really close and tight-knit, mainly I think through the live stream, but also the Facebook group as well. And people have been so kind and sort of thanked me for that, but I'm just one cog in a much bigger wheel. The Patreon community would not be what it was were it not for all of you here today, and also obviously those that unfortunately can't make it today but will be able to watch this back later. So to all of you here and to all of you watching this in the future, a genuinely massive thank you. Can you get any closer? And let me say as well, as with all my videos, I do not know what I'm about to say, so you'll probably see me doing this a couple of times. I've got Stuart in my head now. I should actually get Stuart to come up here and do this. Yeah. Actually, Stuart, you can do this. You can do this. You can do my intro. Yeah, it would be.
Stuart. Oh my God. No pressure.
Sorry.
Oh my God. What am I doing?
Trust me, it's going pretty well for me, this. This is me on a good day. So, as the amazing Stuart has just said, we are at Revolution to Cuba today in Manchester City Centre. Cut! As the amazing Stuart.
And we'll see you next time.